Ever felt like you need a secret decoder ring just to understand a car insurance policy? You are definitely not alone. So in this explainer, we're going to turn all that confusion into confidence. We're going to demystify the jargon so you can find the perfect policy for you. Let's get right into it.
Have you ever just stared at a bunch of numbers like this on a quote and had absolutely no idea what you're looking at? It is probably the single most common point of confusion. But I promise, by the end of this, you'll know exactly what these numbers mean and why they are so incredibly important.
So where do we even begin? Well, the very first step in any insurance journey is getting an accurate quote. This just means gathering a few key pieces of information so the insurance company can see the whole picture and give you a price you can actually rely on.
Okay, so to get a real, accurate rate, you're going to need 3 key things handy. First up, basic info for every single driver in your household. Second, your vehicle's information, and the VIN is best here because it tells the insurer all the specifics about your car. And third, be honest about your driving history. Trying to hide a ticket now? It's just going to cause the quote to change later, so it's always best to just be upfront.
And that's exactly why all that information is so critical. A car insurance policy isn't some generic, one-size-fits-all product. It's highly personalized, kind of like a fingerprint. Insurers look at everything, your age, where you live, your driving record, the car you drive, to build a premium that is totally unique to you.
All right, once you have your quotes, it's time for the fun part, decoding what's actually in the policy. We're going to start with the absolute foundation, the coverage that is required by law in pretty much every state.
This is liability coverage, and here is the single most important thing to remember about it. Liability coverage is not for you, it's for other people. If you cause an accident, this is what pays for their medical bills and their property damage. It's what protects you from potentially life-ruining lawsuits.
So liability is basically split into 2 parts. You've got bodily injury, or BI, which covers the medical bills for people you might injure. And then there's property damage, or PD, which covers the cost to fix or replace stuff you damage. You know, whether it's another car, a mailbox, whatever.
And here it is, the answer to our big question from the beginning. So what does 25, 50, 10 actually mean? Well, let's break it down. That first number, the 25, stands for $25,000. That's the maximum payout for any one person's bodily injuries. The 50 is the total limit for all injuries in one accident, $50,000. And that last number, the 10, is the max it'll pay for property damage, $10,000. Mystery solved.
Okay, so liability protects other people from you. That makes sense. But what about the other way around? What protects you from other drivers? I mean, what happens if the person who hits you doesn't have insurance or just has the bare minimum?
And that is where uninsured and underinsured motorist coverage comes in. Think of it like this. While liability protects others from you, this coverage protects you from others. It pays for your medical bills when the driver who's at fault has little or no insurance. It's a critical safety net, and that's why a lot of states actually require you to have it. So far, we've covered your responsibility to other people and how you're protected from uninsured drivers. But what about damage to your own car? You know, the one you're actually driving every day? Well, that's what this next section is all about.
Now, these next 2 coverages we're going to talk about, they're technically optional. But get this, about 80% of drivers in the US carry them. That's huge. These are often bundled together and called full coverage. And that 80% figure really tells you how important most drivers feel they are.
So, full coverage really boils down to 2 things, collision and comprehensive. And this slide lays it out perfectly. Collision pays for damage to your car from, well, a collision, hitting another car, a pole, even a nasty pothole. Comprehensive covers damage from almost everything else, theft, hail, fire, or hitting a deer. Just think of it as other than collision coverage.
Okay, here's a really key term you have to know. Actual cash value, or ACV. This one's a big deal. See, if your car gets totaled, the insurance company doesn't pay what you paid for it. Nope. They pay what it was worth the second before the accident happened. And that includes depreciation. That ACV number is the absolute maximum they'll pay out on a claim. So you've decided you want to protect your car. That leads us right to a crucial decision you have to make, one that directly impacts how much you pay every single month. And that decision is all about your deductible. So what is it? Put simply, a deductible is your share of the repair bill. It's the amount of money you agree to pay out of pocket for a claim before your insurance company starts paying the rest, and it only applies to claims for your own car under collision and comprehensive.
And here's the crucial part, the trade-off. It's basically a seesaw. If you choose a higher deductible, let's say $1,000, you're taking on more financial risk yourself, so the insurance company rewards you with a lower monthly premium. On the flip side, if you choose a lower deductible, like $250, your out-of-pocket cost after an accident is small, but your monthly bill is going to be higher.
Beyond all the core coverages, you can also customize your policy with some really popular add-ons. Things like rental reimbursement to help you get around while your car's in the shop. Roadside assistance is a total lifesaver for a flat tire. Gap insurance is an absolute must-have if you have a car loan, and new car replacement can be a great perk for brand new vehicles.
Okay, we have officially decoded all the major pieces of the puzzle. Now it's time to put them all back together to find the policy that is the absolute perfect fit for your life and, of course, for your budget.
When it comes right down to it, your main choice is between these two paths: a minimum coverage policy or a full coverage policy. Minimum coverage is for sure the cheapest way to be legal, but it leaves you with a ton of financial risk. Full coverage costs more, yeah, but it protects your own car and gives you so much more peace of mind.
Look, there is no single best answer here. The right choice is a really personal one. It's all about finding that sweet spot between what you can comfortably afford each month and how much financial protection you need to be able to sleep well at night, knowing you're covered if the worst happens.
So, I'll leave you with this question. Now that you understand the pieces, from liability to deductibles, what is the right balance of protection and price for you? With this knowledge, you can now shop for quotes, not with confusion, but with the confidence of an expert.